Hello everyone and welcome back. We are going to be playing some blue-white mind splice apparatus today. Do you mind if I splice your apparatus? As my buddy Taryn would say. But key card, if you don't know what it is, we'll go over here real quick. It's 4 mana and a blue. Well, 3 mana and a blue before. Flash, at the beginning of your upkeep, put an oil counter on it. For every oil counter, your instants and sorceries are reduced by 1. And then we have things like Augury to kind of increase that a lot quicker by proliferating, but also looking at 3. And a lot of times it's just 1 mana, put it on there, so it's free for the most part. If you have X spells or like spells that require 2. But the other win condition and the main win con in the deck is White Sun's Twilight. Basically, it is a board wipe with leaving a ton of creatures behind. And allowing other people's life total to not matter. We have 4 counter spells in general in Syncopate, which also is really good with Mind Splice because it's just 1 mana. A lot of times, like, counter it unless they pay 4, and it's exiles, so getting rid of like Tenacious Underdog and some of the other things that we can't really deal with if they just keep reoccurring it. March is also an MVP of the deck. It doesn't really seem like it, but it really is. This just catches about everything you don't want to deal with, at least from the games that you'll see in the video. But other than that, the deck's incredibly fun. Maybe not for your opponent, but for you. Try it, like it. The games were pretty good today. We'll see how it goes. Probably a longer video, but other than that, hope you enjoy watching, and we'll catch you later in the next one. Go first, not sure what we're against. That's the beauty of playing best of 1. The hand seems pretty good. It curves out fine. We have the Revelry into Syncopate. Player tap lane, gain 1 life, go to 21. Mono red. Twist Spear. One of the sad parts about playing this land first is we don't get to activate all the modes of Sunset Revelry, which would be really cool here. So we're going to draw a card and make 2 1/1s. Again, no life. Could have waited and held up a Syncopate potentially, but if they just play another 1-drop and maybe a burn spell, feels a lot worse. Or they missed the land. No. Oh, it's blue-red. Reckless Impulse coming in. The Delver deck. Now we got to be a little bit more cautious about what we do, because it's not just straight up mono red. We have to kind of play around with counter magic now. Last zone, incredibly good here. No attacks. We're just on the defend plan, and then we'll outvalue them in the late game. This is fine. I put a blast zone in play, so I'm not in the mood to fight over that. We'll counter any 2-drop for the most part. Another Swift Spear, still not going to counter it. It's not worth it here. A little part of me wants to go ahead and let these hit and hold this back because it's only 2 damage. It could play with Fire Me, but I could also counter it. No blocks, maybe tempt them into trying to get the value. They don't do it. Makes sense. Play Deserted Beach. We could do Mind Splice things here if their turn's pretty lackluster, especially if this Delver of Secrets doesn't flip. Try to get the value down from Mind Splice and then sack Blast Zone. Delver flips and they have a Consider, so it seems like it's going to be a pretty big turn from them. We start with a Reckless Impulse instead. Just fine with me. Getting all the value, hit 2 lands, so they have 5 mana guaranteed for the next 2 turns. Well, over 2 turns here. They play Stormcarved Coat, giving up one of the mountains, which doesn't matter if you're flooded, I suppose. There's a combat. Blast Zone. We'll just remove all the creatures. We go down a land, but I'll take a land on these 3 threats here. They might Fading Hope bounce something, potentially. Consider now. Or gets wiped. We land. And again, we're just holding this back as a blocker. They've shown haste creatures, and we're not entirely sure what all they're playing. If they're playing counter magic or what. So here's a Shredder. Shredder is kind of annoying for us. Don't have the mana to counter it. But we're going to put the Mind Splice on the stack now because we don't want them to connive with Shredder. They're going to counter. I'd rather do it now. Spell Pierce happens. Shredder will come down, be a 1/3. You play land. We can hold up a big syncopate. They ended up playing another land. They have 3 cards left. Most likely these are all non-lands. I would feel like. I can't imagine they're playing much more than 21. If they play more lands, it's better for us. Play with fire just off the rip. Sure. Right to the top. It doesn't make me happy. A lightning strike here. I could counter this lightning strike. Potentially. Make them pay 3 for it. But I also can just third path. Which I think's better. They wanted the card, they're going to draw it. They could put back Nodawara. They get no counter on this. Goes up. Go to 12. Cast this, have 2 mana up for Spell Pierce and make disappear. Get it? We go back to 17. I don't want to go ahead and use our mana. Let their Shredder trigger. They have minimal cards, so why not? This just lets them dig for a counter spell, but White Sun still isn't online anyway, so get rid of the Shredder. We're gonna grab this Faithful Absence. I would like to not put a counter on that. Thank you. Go here with 2 mana available. I feel like the move to remove it now because I can syncopate, stop them from stopping me. They do get to sack this and draw a card on instep, which isn't great for us, but something we're gonna have to deal with. Still no attacks. Holding it back for Haster. Again, we're the slow deck here. Preserve as much life total as we can whenever possible. Focus on. Also get to trade one of these out, so that's fine. Assuming hand is Spell Pierce. Now, what to do about it? Play an Augury. Go Sunset Revelry. I think we might want to wait on this. Or do we wait? I think putting threats in now is fine. I had to stop myself from being a little too greedy with it. A little part of me wanted to just hold it. So keep up Syncopate, which might be correct. But they've shown to play such low mana value cards that it's not really mattering. 2 lands. I think that's better for us. Chivalry if they have 4 mana. Making our Syncopate incredibly bad. I can tell you that much. They're feeling the pressure. I'm going to fully pass. I'm going to Scrutiny for 3 on their end step. Seeing what this is. Do nothing. Fading Hope there. Sure, we'll take that. We'll take a card for a Scry. Like the value's way in our favor on that one. Grand Portal comes down. Attack. I mean, I will block. Might imply they have a bigger creature in hand that they want my creature out of the way for, but also they're not really doing much by waiting. I could do this for 3 and just get it Spell Pierced, or I can do it for 2 and kind of play around it, and I think that's worth it. We now have more life than our opponent, so we kind of can't do much. That's the card on top, so it's probably some action or a decent draw spell. We have our Syncopate ready. How many? It draws 4 cards. I'll let it go. Too much mana for me to interact with now. Another land. They've hit so many lands at this point, but they've also drawn a ton of cards. Just a little bit to be expected. I think it's Union. I could have taken the March, but I ain't growing myself way out of range for anything close to anytime soon. Do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have enough for the Twilight, but I'm just not going to do it yet. Well, Revelry. I think I want to Witness, but maybe I'll tap out to play a Scrutiny on Instep to make it a little bit more of a valuable target for them to try to remove. Play with Fire my token. Okay. Not face. So I feel like my life total is out of range to be targeting face. They want to clear the board. I'm up on cards. We're equal in board state. And mana is roughly close. It's not close. They do that all now. So they just have so much. There's the Spell Pierce we've been playing around. Our deadlocking cards. Go to Scrutiny there, but I would want to hold up the Syncopate in case they have some high mana spells. I feel like we've seen a lot of flooding on their end. Delver, then Consider. Sure. They bend and draw. I do this for 3, and it'll be 1 mana, so the counter, I think I'm fine. I don't. I get a lot of value out of it. We have the apparatus that we want. We'll play this. We're gonna fight for this on their upkeep. Let's attack, see if they block for whatever reason. Which I highly doubt. We have to Witness the future, so we're not in danger of ever milling here. In turn. Oh yeah, sure. Play a Fire me, they're gonna scry. Left on top. 0, we're gonna exile this. No counter magic. If that's the case, a little part of me wants to put this Mind Splice, but I doubt they left a counter spell on top. They could have for the Flipper Delver or a Reckless Impulse. That also makes sense. Fading Hope. Remove my token and hit another land. A little part of me feels like no counter spell was acquired there. Just jam our Mind Splice. After you do that. Add a card waste. We're now like heavily on the front foot. Instead of the back. You know. We know the vibe. So other than a Syncopate that's not really well positioned right now, I think I want to fire off White Suns or maybe some of these. Let me just Witness future. I think White Sun might actually be bad. Oh, do I even want the Revelries? Do I want any of these? I want the Auguries, of course, Scrutiny, and then maybe another Scrutiny. Because this is like, if we just stay ahead of them the entire game, there's just nothing they can do about it. So we'll... Blazern is an uncounterable removal that we can play. We have plenty of mana to do it all. Or we can Syncopate our Union. A little part of me wants to just grab this Blast Zone. Even though I have a land drops or Union. I'm gonna grab the Blast Zone. Could have Witness first before just like autopiloting and playing the land. So we'll pass here. A little part of me feels as though the odds of them only playing the 1-drops and 2-drops that we've seen is pretty low. So they've played a Flame Stoker, Swift Spears, Shredders, Delvers. Here comes Swift Spear. The reason we kind of picked up his Blast Zone. Ancestral Anger, first time we're seeing it. 22 cards left. Which generally I feel like you want to play a 4 of that card. Maybe this is where we're seeing it. They're gonna one-shot me with this Swift Spear alone. Here comes another one. Oh my God. No wonder why we didn't see them at all. They found them all at the bottom. Please, please, just hit me with the 4th one. Send it in. I'm about to get one-shotted here. This is crazy. I mean, I'm on a White Sun's Twilight after this and just get so much value. They put a lightning strike in the bin. It hit for 11. Sure, why not? Why not get hit for 11? Double syncopate. Get our blast zone down. I could put this on 5 and just be pretty safe that way, but it also gains me life. Let's play around 2 spell peers. Make this peer before. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. I kind of like doing that. I also get to hold up the blast zone, a syncopate, stuff like that. So we'll do this. White board, gain 5, go back to 19. So all the cards they used last turn to get me down so low from 25. Basically already got it all back. Sure. The Shredder, I'm not too worried about fighting it. They also play a Balmore. Nice. We're just going to put our blast zone on 2, crack it next turn. Go about our day there. Delver, not a problem. We're going to put a counter on here. Put it on 2. Crack it next turn. I think we want to do it. I don't want to do it before they get to draw any more Shredders. I think they realize what Blast Zone is going to do. So we're going to crack Blast Zone, attack with our 5. They block with the Delver. We hold up 2 Syncopates, play a Mirrex to make more Infect creatures. Maybe Witness the future as well. Oh, it actually worked. Okay. Opponent goes first. I have tap lands. Cool. We'll keep. Why would I want anything other than tap lands? Alright. Swamp. Mono black. I said already that this is generally a fine matchup. We play a Sequim Coast to hold up the Syncopate here. Kind of want to save this Augury for a Mind Slice to get it cooking early. That's why we save it for Syncopate. We just not deal with Liliana. We can deal with an Obliterator if we have to. We also might have to fire this off to ensure that we hit the 4th land drop. A Shieldred. No. Sure. You can have a Shieldred, I guess. I had to pitch this White Sun's Twilight. My turn. Sure. Well, there you go. Let's play an Augury. We have to find land here. Do you find a Blast Zone? We'll play this. I just take the massive amount of damage to ensure they can't play another Shieldred on their turn. Maybe. Shieldred's gonna remove 2 cards from my hand, which is what they want to do. Although, if this hits me and they evoke spare me, I'm feeling way worse about my position. Well, let's make them declare it as an attacker first, because if they don't attack, then sure. I kind of think whether I want to get rid of March or White Suns, but White Suns can remove threats that they play maybe after this. Sure. Sure, I guess. I wasn't ready for that play in particular, but I think I take some Vote to Spare out of their hand. Maybe they just got a Takenuma in their hand, and they're just like, I'll get them this way. On my end step here, they'll just cycle it, pick it back up, and make me deal with it if I'm willing to go that down on cards to answer it in the first place. I see the reasoning. Just not sure if I'm here for it. We Witness the future, try to ensure that I hit land drop because I still have the 3rd path, so we will. Let's just put all these back. Mono black decks actually play high mana cards, so syncopates are fine. I just grabbed the other March, or did I grab the Sunset Revelry? I think I want to grab the Sunset. They have higher life total than me, so we'll get all the value from this. Not all the value, we won't get the tokens or whatever, but land, go. Don't really want to hold it for this. We want to get our mana down. Play towards the scrutiny. So there's what we thought we would see. Here's an Obliterator, so now they have a decision to make. We grab the Shieldred, knowing that we're a draw deck. They put Shieldred on the stack, we will Union. Union now. Sure. Resolves. We have enough for White Suns. Would like to draw my card. Take our damage, sure. Play land. I can do this for 3, and I can witness the future first. Go ahead and do that. I don't want to put any of those in. I have to put the witness in, of course. Let's put the witness in to ensure that you don't mill yourself. I think grabbing a second copy of White Suns just to move here. We'll play this for max value then. So 2, 5. So it's only 6. Not much more. But everyone counts when you're playing against the deck for the most part that only has spot removal. Sometimes they play the 4-mana card. It's like give all creatures -2/-2, which can sometimes come into play. But most of the time, that's a sideboard card. We could see it in main boards because we are playing best of 1, so it's something to think about. And this is what I'm talking about. This is why White Suns a lot of times become so good against these mono black decks, is the fact that right there, they had to use 2 cards. So we use 1 card to answer 1 card and make threats. And then they just use 2 cards by themselves to literally answer 2 tokens made off 1. So in the business, we call that a 3-for-1, but we still have 4 creatures in play. Underdog, they don't dash it, which I get it. I get why we don't. I don't think I care about the underdog at this point. I don't want to march it. I'm only going to hold march for like an Obliterator or a Shieldred. Their Mind Splice, not that great. Go ahead and attack with these. They're almost going to get the job done under their own. We just don't want to play into the card we were talking about. Could be potential here, if barring they don't do anything, that we exile the underdog and try to get in for lethal. Because if that's a land in their hand, then we just don't care. Or we just do Blast Zone and we keep the march in our hand. The counter here. We'll sack the Blast Zone, get rid of the underdog. We have a Syncopate now, so it's almost guaranteed. Blast Zone. Well, it is guaranteed, I think. Yeah, they don't have the mana to stop it. Go here. Then infect them all. Don't know what the last card was, but it could have been a land. So we can kind of see there in that matchup how you kind of just bully him. Obviously, no Invoke Despair was cast, but I was at 30. I think I had the cards in hand to deal with 3 extra. But hopefully we get to see that later, maybe. On the play, we have tap land, we have some untap lands, which is important. We play a lot of them. We play Raffine's Tower to cycle, of course, and the other life link, not life link, but the life gainer one. We have a March to answer a threat and a Sunset Revelry to follow up. White Sun's probably the worst card in hand this early, but fine. They're still playing against Orzhov. Trying to think of what they would be in. Or it's Esper Legends, maybe? Is that what this is? Well, in turn, we'll hold up a Syncopate for a 3-mana spell that we might have to counter. They can't use the mana from Gideon to do it. So we'll get hit for 2. That's fine with me. So this, I'm going to counter. We don't want them to draw any cards, especially if this is a missed land. We get a ton of value there. No, they just didn't play the land. Okay. So they get a little punished there. We'll march to Gideon. Might as well get it out of the way. A little part of me, instead of wanting to tap out, kind of wanted to just pitch Sunset Revelry to it. Just cycle. The Angel has lifelink. That's not fun. Play this. We can Revelry, make 2/1/1s. That doesn't really do a lot. But we gain a life, and that's what we're here for. So we'll make 2/1/1s. The other argument was to scrutiny for 2 on their end step. Which is probably what I should have done. Can't block. We're playing all flyers so far. I can march for 4 and get rid of this Archangel. They're going to flash in a Wandering Emperor. Can't answer that. Wandering Emperor generally can't keep up with the life gain that we get.
Overconfident. You're just
Make a 2/2. Do I go ahead and march this away? Or how close am I to this? 1, 2. I'm pretty far. By far, I'm 2 lands away. So I kind of want to scrutiny more than anything. I can get rid of Sunset Revelry, or do I just scrutiny straight up? Put a counter on that. That's fine. I'll take 6.
Strike fast and strike hard.
Actually, now I've kind of just been sitting here in the tank for a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and exile this out of the way. Go down on cards, so we're gonna try to like turn this Revelry on. If they have something that gives it indestructible, it doesn't matter because it's a march and it exiles. March has low-key been one of the best parts about playing this deck. It's just kind of caught all the things that we want it to. Soul Partition. So they're going to make it cost you more, which is roughly the same for me. The way I think about that. I won't go down on cards. Yeah, so here we're scrutinying. We'll hold these back to block. We're gonna scrutiny for 3. Maybe pretend to hold up Syncopate. But seem in the mood to be jamming spells at this point. Put a 1/1 counter there.
I have got new
And we're blocking the 3/3. We'll take 3. We're pretty close to being able to start putting ourselves out of range with White Sun's Twilight and stuff. So Wrath for 4. It's going to come back. It's going to get a counter on it. Sure. So 3 here. Just need to hit this on tap land. We hit another White Sun, so that's even better for us. Just kicked. By land. White Suns for 5. We don't attack because we don't want them to gain any more life than they need, even though it doesn't really matter when you have the mites. Their life total doesn't matter. That's one of the hard parts about playing this blue-white deck that you have to kind of be cautious of. Is the infect decks are really hard to play against. A lot of what you cater around is being able to spot up with mono red, mono black, and like the soldiers deck, the aggro decks, and just like fighting them off.
Let your blade
To go ahead and make a ton here, can I remove any of their threats? I don't, right now, obviously, no. These mites can't block. I'm kind of at a risky life total, but I want to get the Wandering Emperor off the board. What's the best way to go about this? Is there a way to go about this? These can't block, so I'm swinging anyway. Let's put the Emperor at 1. They have to plus. I can just wipe the board again, and then they're down to 2 cards, and I have a bunch of refill in hand. Okay, I think that's the plan. So we're going to attack the Emperor. We generally don't care about the Emperor. We're going to fight for it here. We'll put it to 1. It has to plus, then make another threat.
I'm not impressed.
We'll do this for 6. 4, 6. Go there. Now we almost guarantee the Emperor is going down this turn. Archangel, they'll kick, remove 1, of course. A plus on it, I imagine. It could make it 2-2. Make it 2-2. So they're a little cautious of the infect that we have. We are down. We are higher on cards than them. Let's do this. See if we can't find a march or a spot up removal. We find a witness, future, and a syncopate. I'm gonna grab the syncopate. Again, life total not relevant. Our life total is, but their being at 26 is not. We don't care to attack into this life linker. Although I made that argument earlier in the game that the life linker might have relevance, but that's normal matchups. Here it's not gonna matter. We have a third path and a syncopate available. They try to tap out and like kick this. They haven't found the red dual land that they play. Because generally they play enough to kick or both this. They're mono white though. Just play these every now and then to be able to kick. Get a pass. Into combat. They swing out, so I feel like they have a threat to play. Get to syncopate this for 2, right? Yeah, so we're gonna union. Draw. Gain the life, and then syncopate this for 2. That Revelry not being the best card in the world here. I want a scrutiny for a ton. I don't really need to, I think. Played 2 cards deep. Had some selection spells, so we're probably roughly like anywhere from 26 to 28 cards deep. Haven't found a Mind Splice yet. Let's be cautious because we're kind of running low. 1/1 on a creature you control, double strike until end of turn, and then you gain 2 life. Try to on 8 creatures, so we're gonna get hit for 8 here and whatever there. That makes sense. We augury first, and then scrutiny for 3 if we need to. Yeah. Although I think Pace's not gonna do it. I'm gonna grab a Mind Splice. An infect counter on them. Them ever closer. This is gonna happen. That's a lot of damage. The Revelries will gain us so much more back. There'll be 1 mana. So we'll play this. Good, our turn. Blast Zone. Can Blast Zone do anything? No. Not really. No draw there. Just a life gain. Play the Blast Zone. I guess I should have attacked first. A little bit of a mistake on my end. Now we'll do this, make the 1/1s, which we only would have got 1 of these anyway. So a little bit of a mistake, but not too punishing. What do I want to do here? I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can put that on 4, but then obviously my Mind Splice goes away. Isn't what we want. I feel like this attack means they drew a land. Get them at 40. Go ahead and scrutiny now. Another mind splice and lands. And Ganjo is not even enough to deal with that. Uh-oh. I meant to cycle that. Alright. So. Next. No attacks. Weirdly enough, we're probably going to have to put this blaster in at 4. Let this mind splice apparatus go. Sure. Now we want to chump, and then we want to Ganjo this. And they attack next turn. Well, we're pretty close to being down and out in this game. It might come from not cycling that land. It's what it's gonna seem like. Play this land, tap, gain life. We haven't Ganjo cycle and a blaster to blow up there. That's what we have to do. Mind Splice doesn't do anything if we die. What happens here? Go to combat, we declare our attackers. We're going to Ganjo voice. We're gonna. It does suck that we'll be lightly short to play a Mind Splice apparatus, but again, we gotta let it go. Another land. Another land. Okay. So we are definitely in danger for sure. The attack can't block, adds vigilance, so they have no reason not to. They play land, buying us time. They're trying to help us win. After they can control it. Okay. I need like 3 mana maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 3, 6, 7. We get to play this, gain some life. We hit just straight up lands, which is kind of wild. It doesn't matter. We could freely put 1 because of this, but we'll do this. Well, in fact, we could have played a Mirex to make another infector. Good game. Yeah, I was trying to just get there, but nice. So we ended up crawling that out. That was like a weird situation for the end of that game where we both kind of top deck mode, and I found the action before them. And boy, did I find that the scrutiny was so huge in comparison. I go first. I have the Syncopate, which will be active. I have an Augury and a Union, a White Sun's Twilight, and 3 lands along with the Blast Zone. So we'll keep. Blast Zone kind of being a key piece in a lot of matchups as of late, being able to remove threats that our opponent might have spot removal for. We'll play our Blast Zone down now. Maybe force him to not commit as much to the board. Get hit. Underdog. We will exile your underdog. Kind of the crazy part about Syncopate that it's hard to remember sometimes, at least whenever I get syncopated, is that it actually exiles the spell. We just get to permanently deal with that underdog and not have to worry about it anymore. We get hit, they go land, they play Graveyard Trespasser. Well, I mean, Trespasser is going to resolve, of course. We're going to Union. Our Syncopate is gone. It didn't land. We can Ganjo this. We don't care to discard a card. And if it goes to 4, it doesn't matter. So I think we're fine to just let it flip tonight. Shieldred. Not my favorite card of all time to have to deal with. And Blind Zone's looking worse and worse here. They don't attack. Afraid of the Wandering Emperor. This will gain us more life than we'll lose, so we'll go ahead and do it. Mind Splice, Apparatus. That was like a weird picture. Why did they get scrunched so hard? Lose life. I kind of want to get this Nganjo down, but I also kind of don't want to. I want to be able to remove this, but also want to be able to Mind Splice. So if I play a Mind Splice and it gets a counter and I have a land in play and I hit another land, I can do this, right? I think. Maybe I'm tripping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Goes counter at 6, so I wouldn't be able to do that technically. We're just gonna need some spot removal, I guess. See, they attack with a Shieldred alone, which tells me they have another Shieldred in hand. What's a Shieldred hit? I think that's the only thing that makes sense. We'll slam a Mind Splice. Something to be careful of if you play this deck, by the way, is it loves keeping Blind Zone untapped for whatever reason. Like at all times. Something to have on the top of your noggin. Mirix. So we have 6 lands. Yeah, this works. Why was that so hard for me to figure out earlier? Do this one. Don't worry about it. It's a long day. We're gonna have no counter magic. They could have pumped and potentially drew a card, but they decided not to. I think they had the mana, right? I think it's exactly 6 to do them all. Yeah, they had 6 mana. No, I can't count. Never mind. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Be a sleeper. Put a Blast Zone of 4 if we want to, but we don't really want to. Augury, Blast Zone, Union. We'll take a Union. Do I want to move the Blast Zone? I think I want to put it on 3 and let it sit there. Well, Augury again. Oh, man. Are you supposed to take the removal or the scrutiny? Scrutiny could probably find us more removal. But I can't scrutiny this turn. I can just take the guaranteed removal. Yeah, so we'll allow that to happen. We'll use a white. We'll get rid of this Archfiend. I'm gonna play around getting this counter. People that play Archfiend should just be so happy that Heartless Act doesn't exist in our format anymore. They block. Feeling the absolute pressure. Kind of the other reason we didn't want to take the card in the first place. We don't need to in this spot. Back to draw. The other cool thing about Apparatus to think about is that it plays around Invoke Despair. It doesn't actually get sacked to it. We're going to gain 3 more life, draw another card, hit them for 4 more infect. So, game was pretty chalked up. I'm going to be honest, I don't know why I'm here. I said last one on the last game, but then I just autopiloted into another game. So, I'm going to play this game out. Green land. Play our Cove tap, gain a life. Look at us. We're both at 21. Neither of us are winning now. Play the Jund land. I don't want to reveal the Mirix now. Am I going to be a Fable? I had to guess which my syncopate will counter or a stomper, and I'm not going to let him ramp. Let's just go ahead and exile that out of the way. We find an apparatus. Do you mind if I splice your apparatus? As my friend Taryn would say. Quite the poet. Let that go. The value from Fable is going to be high. Not a whole lot we can do. There's a syncopate for it. Mirror comes down. We now have 2 mind splice apparatuses. We'll definitely be jamming 1 here. Most likely. Then we can augury, and then we have a scrutiny for a lot. Discarding 2 lands in their stomper deck, so it must be heavy on land. I said that at least puts them at 3 in my pea-sized brain process thought. Again in life, they'll go up to 5 mana. Don't know what their plan with 5 mana will be. Will it be a Shieldred the Gathering card? Phyrexian Flesh Gorger. Listen, that sucks, but that's also fine. Like weird to just like let big creatures go sometimes. Although if this gets abraded, we are down bad sad. Oh no, I'm getting a phone call. Okay, it was about more stuff this weekend. I'm gonna grab a farewell because farewell seems incredible here. I'm gonna counter here. Can't really get rid of artifacts, so I want to fire off this farewell now or let them commit more to the board. And I think letting them commit more to the board makes sense, but also there's the worry of getting duressed. But we'll let it go. We'll let it go. Fine. Resolve. Work messaging me. I get attacked for 5. I'm saying this is an unnecessary attack that we didn't have to let happen, but I say I want to draw cards, so leave me alone. Can only be 3. Nice. My turn. I have an apparatus on 3. We have farewell for 3 mana. We're gonna do every mode but up. Artifacts. These 3, no artifacts selected, and we'll get them. Syncopate for 6. We have plenty of mana to stop everything. In turn, I could have auguried. It's free, but it's also free here, so I don't have to worry about it too much. A T-Rex. This can't be countered. I have an absence, so it's fine. As like ward 4. Oh my god, it has haste. Everything about that card makes me want to cry. Huh. Can't do this because that doesn't help. Yeah. All right, so hit me for a ton, I guess. Here I thought I was safe. More island equal more good. This is like the deck that can just like bring that back over and over. Trample ward 4 and haste. If I get rid of it now, I can just counter whatever they try to reanimate it back with. Although Takenuma is pretty bad, but they won't have enough to play it. Yes, I would like to target it. Solve. How's my auto pay going to tab? Like that? Yeah, sure. That's fine. Look, you can draw a card. Stack your treasures. Draw a card. No? That makes sense. I get the farewell back in my hand. I can't deal with that card. They just keep playing them, I will lose. I could deal with this one though. I could deal with it pretty handedly. Pay for 5. Yeah, they don't have the mana, so let's just get rid of Vraska. We also have another counter spell. Not for the card I can't counter. Alright. I have a March. That will get us home. For the most part. Alright. Sick. Play Deserted. I play a Blast Zone to try to play around this thing. I guess. That just sounds so absurd. Would like to witness future. Target myself. Put my farewell back in the deck. I guess my other removal back in the deck. Shuffle it up. Find it. We'll take a White Suns. I have to go to some amount of cards. Yeah, it's like over but not over because that card is so hard for me to remove. But all right, I'm gonna go post game. I think. We're gonna do a little bit of the post game wrap up. So far the deck has been incredible. I know like I'm in diamond, so like take out as you will, but pretty much plays the same. Mythic, I would imagine. Been there before, so doesn't really matter. But here, Mind Splice is actually good in this deck. Mind Splice has been put in like a lot of blue-red piles, mainly just as like a spell singer card. But here with the value that it provides for a White Sun is incredible. White Sun being the main win condition in the deck, along with like things like Augury being able to increase the infect by proliferating, which is incredibly good and has been good. Syncope has been about all we need for counter magic. We don't like more counter spells, generally not that good. We need a lot of board wipes. Farewell could potentially be a 2 of. There's a lot of matchups I've wanted it as a 2 of, but other matches I'm like, thank God I don't have it in my hand, so kind of take out as you will. And these 2 Witness the Futures, it didn't come up today, but if you ever play like a long game, these can basically make it where you can't mill yourself out. And you can just keep putting your White Sun's Twilight on the board and just playing it every single turn, constantly board wiping, and then making lethal amount of damage through infect. Other than that, the deck's been really good. I've also been very impressed with Mirix. I don't know if any of the games today have shown it, but yesterday I played against Blue-White, just put this down, and then I every turn just activated it and never cast a spell. And they couldn't beat it because this just ended up taking cards out of their hand, so it was basically free. But other than that, the decks felt incredibly fun. It's pretty clean for the most part as well. I would like to see where it goes. I don't know how well it does in best of 3, but in best of 1 it's pretty fun and good. So if you want to give it a try, feel free. It's done a lot for me in general, but I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one.